saw a person, a drinker, in the street. He was walking to the court and he saw a drinker in the street. And he had his assistants with him. So they decided to arrest that individual and take him to the courtroom to punish him. And that Qadi, in the way, he said to those two assistants, why don't you go and look for something that we can flog him with to apply the punishment? So he said to one of them, he said, like, find me like a branch of a tree or something. So he sent him in one direction. And then he said to the other, why don't you go for another one as well? Like, look for something. And now it is only him and the criminal. So he said, he quoted a line of poetry that goes like, خَلَى لَكِ الْجَوُّ فَبِيضِ وَاصْفِرِي. It is now clear, the coast is clear, you can run away. He's just like repeated that so that the criminal will understand the message. And he ran away. He understood that the Qadi, the judge, is telling him, like, if you run away, I will not pursue. I will not chase you. And he ran away. When the two individuals came back, the Qadi said, look what he did. He ran away. Well, technically, he didn't tell him run away, but he indicated. Why? Because he wants to cover that individual. Because once you apply a punishment to an individual, his name is recorded. Especially if it doesn't involve the right of another human being. If it involves the right of another human being, you can't say to someone who has stolen somebody else's money or taken something that is not his right, you can run away with it. No, you have to take that right and give it back. But you can say to an individual who has committed something, an offense, as to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as Imam Al-Jazuli in Dalail Al-Khayrat, there is a dua. Allahumma inna bayni wa baynaka dhunuban la ya'lamuha illa ant. Oh Allah, between me and you there are sins that no one knows except you. Wa bayni wa bayna khalqika dhunub. There is also sins between me and people. فَمَا كَانَ بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَكَ فَاغْفِرْ. As for the one that is in between me and you, cover it. وَمَا كَانَ بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَ خَلْقِكَ. That which is between me and you and people, فَتَحَمَّلْهُ عَنِّي. Take care of it. Like, fulfill that responsibility on my behalf. So covering people's mistakes, turning a deaf ear to criticism or ugliness. You know, some of the Salihin, they used to say, when someone starts talking evil about something or about someone, they will say, لا أسمع, لا أسمع. I don't hear. Like, I'm deaf. To embarrass that individual who is starting gossiping. And Isa also by highlighting that which is good. So covering mistakes and also highlighting that which is good in an individual. We relate that Isa alayhi salam passed with his disciples by a corpse of a dog. And the smell was filling the place. So the disciples said, such an ugly smell. Isa alayhi salam said, well, look at the teeth, they are so white and nice. So, well, there's a corpse of a dog. But Isa alayhi salam wanted to direct their attention to highlighting the good qualities, because as we said earlier, there is nothing in this world that you can call sharrun mahd, complete and pure evil. There is always a combination of goodness and badness. There is no one you can say he's deprived of any goodness. So by highlighting that, you will be sharing the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Al-Ghafur. The name that follows this is the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Al-Bari and Al-Musawwir. And most likely we'll be concluding with this name. One of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Bari. And Bara'a in Arabic, in Surah Al-Hashr, we read the three names. Al-Khaliq, Al-Bari, Al-Musawwir. Al-Khaliq is the creator. Al-Bari is the originator. And Al-Musawwir is the modeler, the fashioner. In Arabic, when you sharpen a pencil, you call this act Bara'a. Bara'a. So Bara means to sharpen something, to give it a shape. So Al-Bari is someone who creates in a proper proportion. Al-Khaliq is someone who creates, who brings from no existence to existence. When, for example, if you want to make a house, the first thing that you should do is to go to a person to draw the shape of the house, to make a sketch. That individual is a stage of what we can call creation. He created the shape of the house. Now the person who puts this shape on the ground is bari, is not khaliq. Why? Because he has not put it in a state of proportion. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in eternity, He's created you. But then later on, He shapes you. He originates you. So He's bari because what He has created is taken a specific shape that is in proportion to the jobs that will be carried by that individual or by that creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then the musawwir, the modeler, is the one who puts everything in perfect system. So putting things in a system, in the example of the house, it will be after you put the bricks together and make the walls and all of that, then will be to make sure that after you build the walls, you cover them with paint, you do all the decoration, you put the doors and all of these things. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has these three names together, that He is the Khaliq, and He is the Bari, and He is the Musawwir. And if we look at this example of an ant, for example, how He subhanahu wa ta'ala has not only created it, but He has bara'a, He has shaped it in such a way that suits its work. The analysis, the psychological, the physiological analysis of an ant, where its brain is situated, how its heart located, and why is it located in this way, how He subhanahu wa ta'ala has given it specific form of eyes that can look behind and to the front, and it has like two types of eyes. It has this main one, and it has something on top, and its mouth, and all of this, its nerve system. Another thing that shows us also the tasweer of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He subhanahu wa ta'ala is the modeler, and He's the bari, and He makes everything in proportion, is this shape, that He subhanahu wa ta'ala has fashioned everything in this universe in a very perfect shape. And I'm quoting here from an atheist who is an astrophysicist, like a specialist in physics, who says, like looking at the universe, he says, his name is Sir Martin Rees. He's from Cambridge, and he has a book called Just 6 Numbers. He says, we are each made up of between 10 by the power of 28 to 10 and 10 by the power of 29 atoms. This human scale, in that numerical sense, is poised midway between the masses of atoms and the stars. In fact, this is what astrophysicists say, that the smallest particulars of an atom is 10 by the power of minus 15. And the biggest, the sun, as being the biggest mass in the universe, is 10 by the power of 15. Minus and negative and positive. And in between that, technically in between that, halfway is the mass of human beings. And that is technically what we can call bara'a. Because bara'a here means to sharpen. Sharpening. When you describe someone who is very good in choosing the right answers and giving them in the proper manner, you say so and so is sharp. Sharpness is not just to know, but to know when to say it and how to say it. So Al-Bari is someone who produces things in accordance with the proportion and the creation that He has made, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these names, whether Al-Khaliq or Al-Bari, and then Musawwir is to give something its surah, its image. So as we saw before, the image of an ant, its system suits that surah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sharpened it in such a way, and then the surah that is the final finishing suits how things are proportioned. Same thing with human beings. He subhanahu wa ta'ala has made us walk on two, so that we're straight, so that we can communicate with one another. If we were not walking on two, possibly communication would have been Very, very difficult. And that's basically because the main activity, and this is something to think about, the main activity of human beings is communication, is a human activity, while the main activity of animals is not communication. It is eating. It is living for its desires. A cow doesn't need to communicate as much with other cows. It focuses on, it doesn't spend, why is that? It doesn't spend its day talking and conversing with other members of its species, simply because it has a job that is to fulfill its desire for a larger purpose of its existence, while the main purpose of the creation of human beings is to create cultures and civilizations and to build minds, and that will require a lot of thinking and a lot of communication. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has proportioned us in that macro system and that macro and micro system between that these names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encourage us to search and to think about the tasweer and to look at the universe and reflect on its perfect system. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Yes.
So, as per the itinerary, we will now request the Shaykh to lead a reading of Surah Yasin. At the conclusion of the reading, dinner will be served in the adjacent hall downstairs for men and for the women upstairs, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم أئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أأتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغن عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون وآية لهم الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وأعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالعرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون ومن نعمره ننكس في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم يرى الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت وسلمت وباركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد اللهم إنا نسألك أن تجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل فينا ولا بيننا ولا منا ولا معنا شقيا ولا محروما اللهم واجعل هذا العمل وهذه القراءة وهذه التلاوة وهذه التوجهات هدية واصلة إلى من اجتمعنا بسببه في هذه الساعة الأخ كمران اللهم وسع قبره واجعله روضة من رياض الجنة ولا تجعله حفرة من حفر النيران اللهم واربط على قلب أهله واجعلنا وإياهم من المحبوبين عندك ومن المقربين إليك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم أجزل ثوابه وارفع درجته وقربه عندك وادخله مدخل صدق يا أرحم الراحمين واجمعه بنبيك المصطفى وحبيبك المرتضى سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم واجعل آخر كلامنا من الدنيا لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله متحققين بحقائقها حسا ومعنى ظاهرا وباطنا اللهم طهرنا بما طهرت به أولياءك وأهل ودك يا كريم وحققنا بمعاني هذه الأسماء واجعلها يا ربي سببا لنجاتنا في هذه الدنيا وفي الآخرة يا كريم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Just we will be ready to serve food in 2 minutes, so please make your way to the halls. And Jazakallah khair to the Shaykh for very insightful and beautiful lessons on the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, everyone has taken a small step to know their Lord better. Jazakallah khair.